Good day. Welcome to Westchester Talk Radio, westchestertalkradio.com. I'm John Marino. We are produced by Sharc Creative, made possible by Robuston Oil, the house that service built, by Michael Labriola, landscape design and construction of Armonk, also by Hightower Westchester, managing your wealth to a fiduciary standard, and by Jaguar Land Rover of New Rochelle, White Plains, and Mount Kisco. Here on the Cup of Joe political show, we are joined by Vedat Gashi. Vedat Gashi is on the Westchester County Board of Legislators. He represents the northernmost part of the county, Yorktown, Somers, Newcastle, the Chappaqua area, and that whole section of the county. He is running for Congress in the newly redrawn 16th Congressional District. He is a Democrat. He is challenging the incumbent, Jamal Bowman, and fellow county board member from the Sound Shore area, Catherine Parker. Vedat Gashi, welcome to Westchester Talk Radio. The district, the 16th, encompasses the North Bronx and a part of southern Westchester, portion of New Rochelle, and a piece of the town of Pelham, too. Welcome, and why are you running for Congress in an area that is so far away from where you represent on the county board? You rep the most northern part of the county, and the congressional district is the southernmost portion.
Yeah. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me. And to correct, I think you said part of Pelham. It's in the entire Pelham, and it's all of southern Westchester, including White Plains and going forward. I'll tell you, it's been a weird redistricting year. It's been a roller coaster since I've gotten involved. And the reason I ran for office in the first place is because the original map included us. The original map included Yorktown. And we've been working since February, building coalitions, meeting, and talking to people throughout the district. And in the meantime, the map changed, I want to say 4 times. 4 different times this map changed. I think the end result is a good one. And the lines may have changed. My reasons for running haven't. I got in this race because I was disappointed in the job the incumbent did. And I've been honored to get the support of a lot of people throughout this district. And though I do live in Yorktown now, I grew up in the Bronx until about the 7th grade, still have good, deep ties in the Bronx. And
what part of the Bronx did you grow up in? What part of the Bronx?
Well, I lived in University Avenue near Fordham. Mm-hmm. Between Fordham and Kingsbridge is where I live. But so I lived in the Bronx. I lived in Yonkers. I serve in the Westchester County Board of Legislators, where I serve as chair of budget and appropriations for the entire county. I've gotten to know Yonkers, Mount Vernon, Greenberg, the river towns, the Sound Shore, a whole bunch of this district. It's been an honor. It's been a real privilege. And
is Yonkers part of the new redistricting? Is Yonkers part of it?
Yeah. Basically, if you take all of southern Westchester, you take 287 south. There's some parts that peak north, say Harrison. But the district is a large one, but it's a congressional district that has to be.
Yeah, you read how things were done by the special master, and I read something where Yonkers wasn't included. That's why I said parts of Pelham, for example, and parts of New Rochelle. I also saw a map online that was kind of drawn that way too, and made me think, well, maybe Yonkers is not part of it anymore after all, even though that was a key portion of the district. This shows, I guess, in my mind, how screwed up everything basically is. What are your thoughts on what the special master did?
Well, I certainly don't like the process. The process was rough, and I think having 2 different election dates is not great. Having 4 different maps. Anytime you have a confused voter, I think we don't benefit. I think we benefit. I benefit personally as a candidate by explaining who I am, what I'm running for. I think the response to that has been fantastic. And so that's been our goal, to educate voters, to let them know, hey, Yonkers is part of this district. Let's start off with that. But I will say, though, again, the final result is a fair one, I think. It's overwhelmingly a Westchester district. The Northern Bronx is included, but it's the Wakefield section primarily. And the rest of it is all of southern Westchester. And not a lot of towns are split. I believe the only town that I can think of besides the Bronx that's split is Terrytown. But it's a district that makes sense. I will also say, though, it's a diverse district, diverse socioeconomically, demographically. It's a very diverse district, and I think no one part of this district can pretend to know all of them. I think that's one of the ways, or one of the reasons I benefit in this race is I'm an immigrant. I'm used to coming into an area and acquainting myself. And
where were you born?
Has been fantastic. What's that?
Where were you born?
So I was born in Kosovo. I'm born in Kosovo, moved to the United States when I was 4. We fled an oppressive regime to get here.
Did you come here during the war?
No, it was an oppressive regime. The war started, well, the actual war started much later, but there was obviously a lot of difficulties before that. My father, who has since passed, was the smartest man I knew, but he was only able to get an 8th grade education in Kosovo. My mom only finished the 7th grade. We came to the United States because the American dream is you have the opportunity to both educate yourself and work hard for success. And that's what we've done. We came here with nothing and moved to the Bronx. And that's where we started working hard and fighting. That's what I think those are the lessons that were imparted on me, that with hard work and education, you can achieve anything in this country. And I think I'm showing it now by being a candidate.
How would you answer someone who says that you represent on the county board an area that's highly affluent and you're running in a district, as you pointed out, is pretty diverse, that in the 16th Congressional District, you're likely not to see as many, for example, in-ground pools in somebody's backyard in the 16th as you might be in Yorktown, Somers, or Newcastle?
Well, look, I think, again, I benefit. Well, first off, as an immigrant, I've been told you're not from around here, that sort of thing before. I haven't let it stop me before. I'm not going to let it stop me now. But yeah, the northern part is wealthier. But this district is a contrast of a whole bunch of different parts. I think I benefit from having grown up in the Bronx, exceedingly poor. We grew up penniless. Like I said, we came here. I went to PS 86. That's where, I was saying that I was the only white kid in the class until about the 7th grade. That was during the crack epidemic in the Bronx. It was a rough time. After that, we moved to Yonkers. I have experience living in different parts of this district. I went from that to living in Yorktown, to going to college and being a lawyer. I eventually served went to work for the United Nations after a summer clerkship with Judge Sonia Sotomayor in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. I was elected to the Board of Trustees at Connecticut College, and eventually elected to the Westchester County Board of Legislators, where I have, in the last term, served as chair of Public Works and Transportation, working on infrastructure needs for the entire county. Not just the northern part, but the entire county, which is the overwhelming part of this district. And now, as chair of Budget and Appropriations, overseeing a $2.2 billion budget for the entire county. I am familiar with this entire county, and I would respectfully say that I'm as comfortable in the streets of the Bronx as I am in the boardroom. And I think that's what you want. You want somebody who's going to be able to relate and build bridges. Because, by the way, not only in this district is overwhelmingly Democrat. It's 72% Democrat or something like that. But you're going to need, but the country is divided. We're roughly 50-50 between the Republicans and Democrats. And I think you're going to want somebody who's going to be able to relate to different people in different areas and build bridges. And I think that's what I am.
Vedat Gashi is a member of the county board representing the northern part of Westchester, and he's running for Congress in the newly redrawn 16th Congressional District, a Democratic primary challenging incumbent Jamal Bowman. And Another member of the county board, Catherine Parker, who represents the Sound Shore area. Vedat, Gashi, what is Jamal Bowman not doing that you think needs to be done, maybe spurred while you happen to be running?
Well, that's exactly right. I think he hasn't done quite a bit. I think the reason I ran in the first place was my disappointment in the votes he took and the way he's done it. We're Democrats. We're going to agree on a whole lot of stuff. But notably, we're going to disagree on how we're going to achieve these policy goals. My opponent is a member of the Democratic Socialists of America and affiliates himself with the Squad. I feel more comfortable attacking the Democratic Party than working with the Democratic Party to achieve these results that we all agree are so important and necessary. I was disappointed when he voted against the infrastructure bill, one of only 6 Democrats to do that. I didn't like that. I think when he's been pushing defunding the police, that's been a challenge for me because up and down the district, the poorest parts throughout, people don't want less police. They want better and fair policing. Those should be goals, but not less. And I think that's what he said and how he said it. And I disagree with that. Obviously in foreign policy, well, maybe not obviously, but in foreign policy, we disagree on quite a bit. He voted against military aid to Ukraine. I thought that was being a person who benefited personally from the U.S., from the United States' support of its allies, like Kosovo, for example. I thought I was really disappointed when he chose to vote against military aid to Ukraine at a time when they needed it most. He's also been taking stances against some of our strongest allies, like Israel. Voting against the Abraham Accords, the Israel Relations Normalization Act. And then most recently co-sponsoring the Nakba resolution, which would hope to designate the founding of Israel as a catastrophe. And they're the only democracy in the Middle East and have been one of our staunchest allies anywhere. So I don't think that's a smart or good thing for American foreign policy. It's not something I could do.
Would you have voted for the Inflation Reduction Act if you were already a sitting member in Congress?
Yes, I would have. I think it's a historic bill with a lot of great things achieved through it. There's obviously things that are not included in it, but I think there are always going to be things you prefer to see or you'd like to see extra. But the fact that it is making it so seniors can will only have to pay a maximum of $2,000 a year for pharmaceutical costs. That's an important thing. Allowing Medicare to negotiate the price of pharmaceuticals. That's a great thing. It's a historic investment on climate change. I think that's fantastic. There's a lot of great things in there. And I'm glad they were able to finally get it through.
Now, running for Congress, what is your platform? What do we need to deal with most of all? Which issues in Congress? For example, the economy, obviously, and inflation, et cetera, et cetera. There is a lot to be done.
Well, yeah, I keep talking about common sense. We didn't, I believe that we're at a critical juncture. And by the way, in addition to the infrastructure and economy and some of the issues we've talked about, women's reproductive rights are being attacked. Mass shootings have taken innocent lives, and families are struggling to make ends meet. A challenge I have occasionally is I understand that worldwide inflation is a problem. I understand, and that people will tell you things like, oh, well, the inflation in France is higher than it is here. Just the same, people here are struggling. And people here don't want to, the people at the doors, when you talk to them, I hear the pain and the fear in their voices. That it's not the comparative result to France is less interesting to them than the ability to make ends meet now. And I think we should start paying attention and doing our best to attend to those needs now.
How about with social issues? You referred to the Supreme Court and their decisions. Do we need to pack the court with 13 justices Or can this be something dangerous where we get into kind of a rollover? If the Republicans take charge again, they add more justices. Back to the Democrats, they add more justices. We might get to a point where half the country's on the Supreme Court.
Well, I will tell you, it's certainly a more extreme answer, and the problem with that whole issue is, frankly, I believe the process has been manipulated and abused to get us here. I think the reason why Merrick Garland wasn't sworn in in the last year of Obama's term, the argument being that you can't push someone through in the last year of their term, when under Trump, Amy Coney Barrett was not only in the last year, but the last moments of that campaign, I think, pushed through in record time. I think there is a lot of frustration out there. I think if we look at nationally, it is overwhelmingly popular and believed that a woman should have a right to a safe abortion, and that outlawing abortion doesn't remove abortions; it just removes safe abortions, and that women will suffer for this. Women will die because of this, and I don't think I was shocked when they passed it. Now, I, at the moment, don't have faith in the current court as constituted to reflect the overwhelming will of the country. So my answer would be to codify Roe, since we can't rely on the court, that we should. Now, we should pass legislation to enact it, like we've done here in New York. It's a more extreme answer, but frankly, we're kind of in an extreme situation. I think the results are scary to a lot of people. They're overwhelmingly unpopular throughout this country, not only in this state. And at some point, we as Democrats and maybe we as Americans need to fight for the things we believe in. I believe in our Constitution. And the Supreme Court, as enshrined in the Constitution, does not state how many Supreme Court justices there should be on it. It's a norm. It's a thing I'm very willing to explore and push for. I think, frankly, the Republicans have gotten to this point by ignoring norms willingly, and we Democrats will stand on ceremony sometimes. I think be disadvantaged because of it. I think we need to fight for the things we care about and push hard, but not only fight, win. And that's been a founding principle of the things I'm doing. We need to do things. Fighting is more than just yelling. It's standing resolute and firm and focused for the things you care about. And that's what I hope to do.
Among your endorsements, you were endorsed by the legendary Nita Lowey, who, of course, represented the area just above what will be the 16th district, the new redraw now, and part of Westchester, White Plains, Port Chester, and good part of Rockland County. She retired 2 years ago. Mondaire Jones got her seat. He's running down in Manhattan now. How important is it for you to get an endorsement like that?
Oh, it's amazing to me. And I'll say also Elliot Engel, Congressman Engel represented the rest of this district for a long time. But Nita Lowey was my congresswoman. I idolized her as a kid, She is strong and smart and hardworking and all the good things, but also a good person. I think the good person part of it is underrated. She understood that it was less important to get on TV than to get into your backyard. She understood your backyard and you, and you felt like she was fighting hard for you. And that's my goal. I'll say on occasion, because the incumbent beat Elliot Engel, a man who I respect and know tremendously. When they say you're fighting to be the new Engel, that would be an honor. But respectfully, I was represented by Nita Lowey for a long time. I serve as chair of Budget and Appropriations for Westchester County now, as she served as chair of Appropriations in Westchester. It would be an honor to be the new Nita Lowey.
Bottom line, what will Vedat Gashi bring to the 16th CD that has not been there for a long time, or maybe you want to establish a new direction in which we have not gone before?
Well, yeah, I'll say that Well, first off, we were represented by Mondaire Jones in the last term, and I thought Mondaire Jones did a great job. I had no intention of running against Mondaire Jones. Respectfully, I'd say that the incumbent Bowman has not. I've disagreed with his votes. I've disagreed with the fact that constituent services throughout haven't been attended to. There's a notion that he doesn't represent the people of this district, but represents an ideology. And I think the people of this district deserve representation. I think we want somebody out there who's not only going to fight for you, but win. And I've had to fight for everything in my life. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. My family fled oppression to come to this country. We grew up in the Bronx with nothing. And I've not only fought, but achieved. And right now, people are worried about inflation, the environment, a woman's right to choose is under attack, gun violence is surging. At a time like this, I think you don't want symbolic votes. You want real results and real progress. I've done that as a county legislator. I've done it my whole life. And when elected, I'm going to do it for the people of Westchester and the Bronx in Congress.
Vedat Gashi, best of luck to you on Election Day. Vedat Gashi, Westchester County Board member from the northern part of the county, running for the Democratic nomination to represent the redrawn 16th Congressional District, repping all of southern Westchester and mostly the Wakefield section of the northern part of the Bronx that is in this 16th CD. And the election for Congress will be on Tuesday, August 23rd. Early voting has begun. Again, Vedat Gashi, we thank you for joining us here on Westchester Talk Radio, and good luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Vedat Gashi here on Westchester Talk Radio, the Cup of Joe political show. I'm John Marino, and we are produced by Sharc Creative, made possible by Robeson Oil, the house that service built by Michael Labriola, landscape design and construction of our monk, by Hightower Westchester, managing your wealth to a fiduciary standard, and by Jaguar Land Rover of New Rochelle, White Plains, and Mount Kisco. Catch all of our Westchester, Rockland, Putnam, Dutchess, Orange, and Fairfield County Talk Radio programming on our YouTube channel, Sharc Creative YouTube. Download our app, Westchester Talk, and now we are on Apple Podcasts too.